I'd like to show you how we can use the VLookup function within a Google Sheet to go back and find the actual on-hand quantity that we have in the store. I've changed the layout of the food order a little bit and tried to make this automated for you. So in theory, on how we would do this manually, we're going to look at the SKU for this item. So in this case, it's 5 gum peppermint cobalt. We sold 37, but we need to figure out how many we have on hand. At the very bottom of your worksheet, notice I have 2 tabs. You need to switch over to your items. In column A, this is where you have all of your SKUs. I've already sorted these from smallest to largest. And again, what we would do manually is I'd go down through all the items and I'm looking for the SKU for the 5 peppermint cobalt gum, which is at the very bottom in this case. Right here. So it would find that SKU, and then we want to bring back our items that we have currently on hand. And that's going to be located in the 7th column over. So we could do this manually. I just would take 27, come back and type 27 here, but you wouldn't want to do that for every single item. So we're going to use a function called VLookup. So I'm going to click on where I want my function to be located. So back in column F, right beside the AutoSum function within Google Sheet, you want to hit your drop-down menu to get all your filters. You want to scroll down through and look for the lookup category. There should be a function down there called VLookup. Now, this differs a little bit from Excel. In Excel, you would get a dialog box that would take you step by step through this process. Here within Google Sheets, you don't have this help. This is one of the reasons why Google Sheets is free. So I'm going to take you through this process right now. So I'm going to look for my SKU number, which is in cell C2. So I'm going to click on that. My next part is to add in the table where this information is found. To separate this out, I want to type in a comma. Now I'm going to go back to my items. I'm going to select my entire table. I'm going to start with A1 all the way over to G1, all the way down to the very last item in my list. Okay, so in this case, I went down to G739. Now, one thing you must do at this point is you want to lock in this table so the cell reference numbers don't change when you fill down. On your keyboard, on the very top row of buttons, you have a key called F4. Strike that. Notice how it adds a $sign before the letter A and a $sign before the number 1. So that means when I fill down, that never changes. It's always going to be A1. Notice the ending point. There's a $sign before the G and a $sign before the 739, meaning it's never going to change. It's always going to be locked in on that area. Now, the last part, I want to tell Google Sheets to come back and find the information in my 7th column over. And I'm starting from column A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So out here in column G, all I'm going to do is type in comma and 7. At this point, simply hit your enter key, and you're going to switch back over to your sales worksheet, and you should get 27 there. At this point, you should be able to fill down all the way through to the very bottom of this worksheet. And this is going to tell us our sales information that we have right here that we want to go back and find out the on-hand information. What you should do is you should spot check. Notice up here as I shift down through my formulas, looking at my FX, my formula bar, notice how that first item changes for every row I go down. I change from C2 to C3. Here I'm on row C15. This A1 to G739 should always be the same, and then 7 will be the same. And again, if you're not sure, I would go back and spot check this to make sure this worked out. So for example, Chewy Bar, dark chocolate, 3001. I have 8 sales and 5 on hand. So to check to make sure this worked well, you simply have to go back and find that SKU number and manually confirm that this worked. So here I have 5, and that should set us up for the next part. Okay, so again, the purpose of the VLookup is to automatically go back and find that quantity and bring it back in the column F.